Okay, so what we're looking at is we've done a couple of documents. We're going to do a couple more today, but I want us to go back to our prompt. It says most historians state that one of the overarching catalysts of the Civil War resides with the issue of slavery. No doubt, right? We talked about this last time, that slavery is overarching, but it goes into different issues, right? But if these issues wouldn't have happened, like political parties, if political parties would have never taken a stance on slavery, would we have ever had the Civil War? What party divides up over the issue of slavery? The Democrats, right? And even because of the Free Soilers and the Republicans. But if they would have never taken on that issue, would we have had the Civil War? Would we have ever had the issue if we never had westward expansion? We know it deals with slavery, but if we never would have moved west, would we have had the issue? And so we are going to be looking at a way to organize a paper. Yes, this stuff deals with slavery, but we're looking at those other issues to shed light how westward expansion, internal improvements, political parties, compromises have caused the Civil War. So we are looking at that other issues. And as we look through these documents, like this one, what was this issue over? Westward expansion, right? And how we try to maintain that balance between slave and free. And did that balance issue kind of lead to the Civil War? Yes. Okay. So we are yes, it deals with slavery, right? But do we have to talk about people's reaction to this? And how by maintaining the sectional balance, that the North had a reaction and the South had a reaction and they didn't see eye to eye, and that's what caused the disunion. And that's what you'll be explaining in this essay. So then the next one, we have here is document B. We talked about this document dealing with the tariff. Does the tariff divide up our nation? Yes, because which side likes the tariff? The North. Which side doesn't like it? All right, and those of you who weren't here, just go back and watch the video for documents A, B, and C, right? We did this document last time. So now what we're going to be looking at is document D. This is called the Resolution of the Pinckney Committee, House of Representatives, May 18, 1836. So what are we going to call this? The Resolution of the Pinckney Committee. So I'm going to read this and we're going to take little bit by little bit, because can we quote? No. We know when we read the rubric, it says if we quote, we do not get what? Points. So this document says, and where it is extremely important and desirable that the agitation of this subject, what subject? Slavery, okay, should be finally arrested. What does that mean? Dealt with, right? Dealt with, put to end, right? Okay. For the purpose of restoring tranquility to the public mind. So he's saying we need to deal with the subject of slavery so that we could do what? Restore tranquility to the public mind. Give what? Peace. Okay, so write that down. We need to deal with the subject of slavery to give peace to the people, right? Have we put that in our own words now? Right, I'm going to put myself on pause so you can write this down. So everybody has right, we're going to deal with the subject of slavery so we can give peace of mind to the people, or peace, right, to the people. Your committee respectfully recommends the adoption of the following addition resolution. So what are they saying? We have some advice, or we have a rule, right? That's the next part. We have a rule to recommend. It says all petitions. Do y'all know what a petition is? It's like someone who is offering an idea, right?
Yeah, we have a petition going on right now
Oh, what is your petition?
to get what's it called, exemptions back.
Exemptions back. Okay, so that's a petition. It's people. Well, they haven't come out with the info on it. It's supposed to come out sometime today. I don't know when, but it's gonna come out. So do y'all know what a petition is? It's a recommendation, right? All petitions, recommendations, memorials, resolutions. Resolution is an idea, right? Propositions. It's another idea being proposed. Or papers relating in any way to the extent whatsoever to the subject of slavery or the abolition of slavery. So basically any what? Any what? And ideas or laws on what? I heard ideas from you. What did you say?
Anti-slavery.
Okay, anything, yes, anti-slavery, okay? But anything, I heard ideas over here, you're so far. Anything that is anti-slavery, right? But anything on slavery, right? Ideas, laws. Hey, y'all got that first part. Anything that's about slavery, ideas or laws. And they are even referring to anything about slavery. Anti-slavery, pro-slavery. Okay, y'all got this first part. Shall, without being either printed or referred, be laid on the table, and that no further action whatever shall be had thereon. So your ideas, your laws, what are on slavery, what are they saying? They shall be laid on the table and no further action.
Should be like put aside.
Put aside, are they gonna deal with any of it? No, they are not gonna do anything with those laws. What does this remind you of?
Alien sedition.
It's not
No,
Alien Sedition Act.
It's like
The gag
Gag
resolution. There you go, historical situation. You got it. The gag resolution. Okay. But why historically would they be putting this out there? What does the South fear?
oh, they can slavery.
That they could be abolish slavery in the House, right, and in the Senate. And has there been an issue before this? They're like, if the government could put this law on me that I dislike, they possibly could take away slavery. What was that? The tariff. Remember we had that question on our multiple choice and a lot of us got it wrong? This is all repercussions from the tariff. Because I'm gonna go back to our tariff notes like we did last time. Oh, wait, was it? I can't remember where it is. That the whole thing that they had not given up their rights, that they could put things on them, and that they should be able to nullify. Okay, I can't find it in here. Okay, so who do you think the intended audience of this? Who is this going to give peace of mind to? The Southerners. This is the intended audience. Is the Southerners that they're going to be rest assured that Congress cannot do what? Take away slavery or make laws on slavery. So what's the purpose? Well, can I say calm them if the document says that? It's to keep the union together, right?
Mhm.
Because did they threaten with that terror of secession? And now here's the Band-Aid, right? Is this gonna calm them down, saying, oh, we can't talk about it now? Right? Their point of view. What is this gag resolution trying to do? What's its point of view?
We just.
Does it have a point of view? No.
Yeah,
Okay. So let's look at, is this beliefs?
Yeah.
Is this America and the world? Is this geography and the environment? Is this politics and power? Yes. Is this identity? Is this peopling, movement, and migration? No. Is this economy? No. Our strongest category is political, yes.
I thought politics went with beliefs.
It does, but do we have an overarching belief here? Like we've seen enlightenment beliefs, right? Right. So usually it goes together, but we do not see a political belief. Alright, so let's go back to our next document. Okay, so what are we gonna title this? This is Senator Daniel Webster's speech to the Senate March 7th, 1850. What are we gonna title it? Daniel Webster's speech. Daniel Webster's speech. Okay. It says, I will state one complaint of the South, that there has been found at the North, among individuals and among legislators of the North, a disinclination to perform fully their constitutional duties in regards to the return of persons bound to service who have escaped into the free states. Okay, so he's addressing a complaint of the South. What is their complaint? The escaped slaves, they're not being what? Returned. Okay, by who? The Northerners. So write that down. That's the first part of this. He is saying the Southerners are upset because Northerners are not returning slaves. Everybody have that first part? Okay, let's look at the next part. Or we're still writing, I'm sorry. He says, in that respect, it is my judgment that the South is right and the North is wrong. Okay, so does he agree with what the Northerners are doing? No. He disagrees with them not returning the slaves. Okay, so now are we done with that first part? He's upset, but is he a Southerner or a Northerner? He's a Northerner. He says this is why do we know that this is disrespectful? According to a person of the South, why would this? It's their property, okay? This is a whole 6 years before Dred Scott, okay? He says, I hear with pain and anguish the word secession, especially when it falls from the lips of those who are eminently patriotic and know to the country and know all over the world for their political services. Secession, peaceful secession. Okay, so what is he hearing?
They're gonna invade
that he's hearing from people who are what? Are they just average people or are they people in politics?
People.
He's hearing from people in politics that they want secession. So, okay, I'm gonna interject by going back to something. This guy is who? Daniel Webster. Here's Daniel Webster. He is friends with who? Henry Clay and John Calhoun. Oh, who do you think is this guy that is very high and known everywhere that is screaming secession? Who? His friend. Remember, these are the three great compromisers? So he is, the guy he's talking about is John C. Calhoun. Because has John C. Calhoun brought up the idea of secession before? Yes, in what? In that tariff thing, right? The South Carolina Exposition and Protest. So he's like, my friend has brought it up. What is the date of this document?
March 7th, 1850.
He is going to give a speech. It's going to be called the 7th of March speech to help strengthen the Union and turn both sides to compromise. This is about the compromise of what? 1850. He realizes, look at what Calhoun's saying. Leave slavery alone, return slavery, restore the balance, elect two presidents. Was that a little bit far? Yes. But he's coming in saying, look, we need to give a reasonable concession to the South. What is their reasonable concession he's bringing up? Return their slaves. Fugitive slave law. Including, so do y'all see his argument here? Okay? This is his known as his March of 7th speech that is going to help strengthen the Union and turn both sides towards compromise. So, historical situation, what can I put? This is a discussion over the compromise of what? 1850.
This wasn't long ago. Oh,
We
wait,
had
no, it's
just done this.
1850.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, we had just done this on our PowerPoints. Okay.
I was thinking-
Okay. So we got historical situation. This is about the compromise. Who else is his friend that we could put in here that's screaming secession? John C. Calhoun. Okay. Peaceable secession. Sir, your eyes and mine are never destined to see that miracle. I hold the idea that of separation of these states, those that are free to form one government and those that are slaveholding to form another, as a moral impossibility. We could not separate the states by any such line if we were to draw it. We could not sit down here today and draw a line of separation that would satisfy any 5 men in the country. So what is he saying about separation?
I don't know.
It's gonna be bad. It's impossible. There you go. So he says people are screaming succession. People want to leave. This is impossible. Have we summarized the document on our own now? Yes. So who do you think his audience is?
Is it- no. Maybe to his friend.
Who do you think he's saying that
John
Southerners want a
Calhoun.
stronger slave law? Who do you think he's speaking to?
Oh,
Northern people who are in the what? Senate, right? Because we're in the Senate. He is talking to the Northerners that they need to give a concession about his purpose. What do you think his purpose is? To keep the what together? The Union. His point of view. Is it either Southern or Northerner? He says, I'm here talking as an American. Can we use that? Can we use his point of view? No. Like, let's look at our categories. Is this economic? Okay, is this peopling movement and migration?
No.
No. Is this identity? Is this politics and power? Okay, is this gonna be one of our biggest categories? Yeah, and we're gonna do something later next week to figure out what our category should be. Okay, let's look at the next document. We did document E and document, what time does the bell ring?
I think it's.
Okay, we're gonna stop there, cause we'll leave, you should feel comfortable with this document, cause you've seen this document. We're gonna save this till next week. Oh, do y'all know these people? Okay, so Preston, not this Preston, hey, this is Preston Brooks, right? And he is, I call him Bully Brooks because that makes me remember who he is. Is he from the north or from the south? He's from South Carolina, and this is Charles Sumner. We're gonna come and talk about this next week because I think this is very fresh in our minds, and I wanna make sure you remember it this next week.